Okay, I have a confession to make. I actually fessed up to this a little earlier in the program. I'm going to bring Alex Kirry online with us right now. And Alex, later on this afternoon, you're going to be down in Oakland, right?
That's right.
Okay, I have a confession. When I found out that we did not fare that well last Friday, I have to admit, I didn't become a naysayer. I wasn't, you didn't have to call and, have me in therapy or anything, but I thought, okay, this is going to be tough. What are the odds? What are the odds of going back to L.A., all that pressure, 3-3, and win yet another game from the Clippers, home turf in California? And I have to admit, I was a little woebegone, but holy cow, did our team come through?
Well, it's a shocker to me that you would show such lack of faith, because I could have sworn that I saw this script sitting on your desk. You wrote the whole thing out on a napkin and said, "This is how the Hollywood ending of this series is going to go. You're going to think that everything is dire and looks terrible on Friday," which it did.
Yep.
And the thought of them wrapping things up on Friday was the only thought that fans had was, well, you don't want to have to go back to L.A. because then Chris Paul, he's on his court, and when he came in and he kind of trash talked Utah a little bit by going, "I wasn't going to let Paul Pierce finish his career in Utah. Are you kidding me?" Ew.
Yeah.
And you kind of go, "Oh, is that how it is?" Well, how about he finish it with one of the worst Game 7 home losses in the history of the NBA? When you talk about odds, just a visiting team winning a Game 7 in the NBA playoffs on the road, the odds are stacked against you so much. It's an 80% chance the home team's going to win. That's historically the way it's been.
Wow.
The home team wins 80% of the time. That's not even factoring in that the away team already had won twice in LA. Now, It was a weird series because both teams were winning on the other person's home court, but again, like I said, this is one of those movie scripts, Doug, that you had written up already. So congratulations.
Well, I wasn't going to brag about that, but it is just amazing where we are right now, and everybody is stoked about this game.
Hey, Doug, Gary Herbert calling. Just want to offer congratulations to the Millers, to Coach Snyder, to the Jazz, to the fans. It's been a great season, and now we get to go on and take on the Warriors. So good luck to one and all. One of my favorite Jazz stories happens to be when we honored the Jazz Bear for his contributions to the Jazz and to Utah and helping out on so many issues. We had him up to the Capitol, to Golden Room, and we were introduced to his very handsome family. His daughters mentioned that they attended high school at Harriman High School. And I asked the question, "Hey, do your classmates know that your dad's the Jazz Bear?" They just simply looked at me and smiled as they looked at all the TV cameras and looked at me and said, "Well, they do now." And so the Jazz Bear, a great asset to our state, to the Jazz team, and they're doing a lot of good things. And maybe they know who his family is now. They don't have quite the same family resemblance. They're a lot better looking than the Bear. Thanks. Congratulations, Jazz. See you, Doug.
I have this image of all these little kids out there looking like little teen wolves that are out there going to school, and they're the Jazz Bears kids, right?
Yeah. I've got something similar because back in 2006, when they inducted the Jazz Bear into the Mascot Hall of Fame, there is such a thing. Governor Huntsman back then invited the Bear up to the Capitol for a little ceremony because it was Jazz Bear Day. It was an August day. I went up to cover it. And, in Governor Huntsman's office, you can imagine, too, and I think you've been in the governor's office before, Doug,
sure.
of many governors. And they look, there's a Native American headdress on the wall in Governor Huntsman's office. There was, I think a helmet from the fire department in New York and a plaque that commemorated that he had gotten from there, and some historic stuff on the walls. Jazz Bear busts in there and just starts silly stringing the entire place down. And we're kind of going, what is going on here? And but it was total. But it was Jazz Bear. It was Jazz Bear Day, so you had to respect it. His family was there too that day, and the vice president of the Jazz at that time kept calling him by his real name in the press conference. And luckily it wasn't live.
Yeah.
I get a thing afterward. They wrangle us and they they say, hey, do not put that guy's name in any of your reports. So, of all that trying, of all those years of trying to keep it secret, then Governor Herbert goes and ruins it, the whole thing. So there you go.
I've had the opportunity to interview Bear in another state of being, and what this amazing mascot has gone through. As a matter of fact, Dee and I saw something on the tube the other night that talked about, how many injuries, how many concussions.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, holy cow. This guy is amazing.
Yeah, this animal, this mammal.
He is an animal.
Amazing. He's, and it's funny, too, because he takes on this persona, and it's the persona that we all know and love. The national media sometimes cannot figure out, was this a prank or was this planned? And like when he decked that Clippers fan last week in that bubble,
yeah,
he made the national headlines. And you couldn't believe the Clippers reporters were going, he decked this guy because he pushed the kid over. And the Bears' antics are world famous now. And I'm glad. Look, Bear turns it up during the playoffs too, Doug.
Yeah.
So if you think that round one was crazy with the Clippers, the Warriors coming to Salt Lake City at the end of this week and the beginning of next week is going to be absolutely bonkers, and Bear's going to take it to another level.
Well, I can't even imagine. What are you anticipating? What are your high hopes? You're going to be down there. You're going to be covering this for us. You'll be in Oakland later on this afternoon. What are your best hopes?
I'm not as bleak as some people who just go, well, the Jazz barely got through that first round. They're no match at all for Golden State. When you talk about Goliath-type matchups, because the Jazz are one of the better teams in the NBA, and so this isn't like this isn't an accident that they got there. They didn't, back their way into the playoffs. They got in, on awesome defense, and they're going to have to play amazing defense because this is one of the best offenses in the history of the NBA, not just, over the last few years. It is one of the most prolific scoring teams ever. And so the Jazz and their defense has to be on point, and they have to be able to, if they can steal one game at Golden State, that would be as big of a win that you can get on this scale. Right now, we're playing with house money. This is a lot of folks see the Jazz underperforming, in other times, but right now they're overperforming.
Yeah.
And the national media is kind of going, now, so who are these guys again? The story was that the Clippers lost last night. It wasn't that the Jazz won. It was that the Clippers bow out again.
Yeah.
That they run into some bad luck with injuries and things like that. But it's really, the Jazz are beating up on these teams. I mean, and they're slowing it down. This is their style of playing, slowing down some of the best offenses in the league, and they've been doing it all season. And you just hope that they can keep the injury bug away and maintain. Hopefully Rudy's ankle's okay. But I anticipate the Jazz winning 1 to 2 games in this series, and might not be more than that. And that would be, I think, generous of me to say even to win 2. But anything is possible with the playoffs, and I think this Jazz team has shown that it can shoot poorly,
yeah.
But it can also stay in the game even if it's not shooting well because it plays such good defense.
I really liked what CBS News said when they said this upcoming round with the Golden State Warriors is going to be a David and Goliath, but then they add this little caveat that this David has gotten stronger. And they're absolutely right. Alex, I appreciate you joining us here with Utah's Mr. Sports today at KSL, and have a safe trip.
Pleasure.
Have a safe trip down there.
All week, hit me up. I'll tell you how. I'll give you the temperature of how things are going in Oakland. I'll do a little trash talking too. I'm going to get on.
I'm looking forward to that. Trash talking is always a good thing. It is 11:15 here at KSL News Radio. Big thanks to Alex Kirry getting ready to hop on a plane and head down to Oakland to cover all of this for us here at KSL News Radio. Now, we have much more in store for you as well, but most important, phone lines are going to be open for you. I want to hear from you. Just a simple Go Jazz would be great, or a fond memory.
Doug's breaking news no one else has access to. More updates that affect you and Doug's take. Coming up on KSL News Radio.